When I talk about Cosmic Fury, I also mean Dino Fury because even though they have changed the name and some other things, it really is the same series with the same characters. Dino Fury and Mighty Morphin Power Rangers have many similarities, and honestly, we don't know if the production has tried to create something similar to use a winning formula. We all know that the Mighty Morphin series has been the most successful of the entire franchise, and if you haven't seen it yet, you may not even be interested anymore. In this we must be honest, when we see the Mighty Morphin series in these modern times it is a bit boring because the special effects are terrible, and the image quality is terrible. The changes between the Japanese series and the American scenes are very noticeable. All this is normal. This series was released in 1993 and they had a very low budget to make it all work. Despite all that, they managed to make the series a success, but we also must be fair with the comparison since we live in a different era. We know that today's series have certain advantages, such as production quality, improved special effects, streaming platforms like Netflix, social media to promote the whole project, and possibly a higher budget. Despite this, the disadvantages that the series now have are quite huge, and there is a major disadvantage that is very difficult to change. Power Rangers was created for a child audience, and unfortunately kids nowadays don't watch TV anymore. They usually watch YouTube videos and play video games all day long. This has not only affected television, it has also affected sports as there are less kids playing outside their home. When Mighty Morphin first came out, television was the most important thing as it was the visual entertainment that almost everyone could have. Video games were not as advanced, let alone the internet. Because of this, TV shows had a huge audience, so if you made a good series, then you were going to be very successful. That being said, we must say that we must still give credit to Mighty Morphin because they managed to have the success that other series of their time could not have. So, the question we must ask ourselves is, did the production want to replicate the winning formula of Mighty Morphin? We must understand that the Power Rangers no longer have the same amount of audience as before, but this is due to many factors that few have mentioned. The first thing people mention are the show's mistakes, but this is not the main factor for the decline in viewership. The main factor we already mentioned is that all TV shows have declined because kids are no longer watching TV. Another factor is that the style of programming has changed as kids are now watching videos of other kids playing and people goofing off at home. Power Rangers style TV shows are no longer interesting to kids, and this is not the fault of the production. Unfortunately, times are changing, and the franchise has been around for 30 years, so it was obvious that at some point the success was going to fade a bit. For now, the ones who are sustaining the franchise are the adults themselves, and there are a lot of parents trying to teach their kids what the Power Rangers is all about to continue to create a generation of fans for the franchise. I think Dino Fury was the last attempt to lift the franchise without having to stop the series as we know it. Still, we will be getting a reboot, and according to the information that has been leaked on social media, they are going to focus more on adults in this reboot. This is a bit obvious since nowadays adults are the ones who are watching superhero movies and series. All the superhero series and movies are being successful, and it is an excellent idea for the franchise to go that route. They are also supposedly going to explore other paths, such as animated series and a connected universe. So, how do Dino Fury and Mighty Morphin connect? Basically, both series have a very similar theme, even the Red Rangers have the same dinosaur. Clearly, the story of these two series is very different and they can't do everything exactly the same because fans would easily notice it. Even so, there are many similarities, such as the appearance of Lord Zed. This villain was one of the main antagonists of Mighty Morphin, and now he is back in Dino Fury. Possibly he is also going to be the main villain of Cosmic Fury, so this is going to make us feel like we are watching the second season of Mighty Morphin. Also, according to rumors, Billy, the Blue Ranger from Mighty Morphin, will possibly appear in Cosmic Fury, so this would be the last straw to complete the similarity of the series. Another very interesting thing is that the colors of the Rangers of each of these series are very similar, since we have red, pink, green, blue, black, and the only change was the yellow, but the gold color is almost the same. The change they made was that the Green Ranger in Dino Fury is a woman, and the Gold Ranger, that is, the yellow one, is a man. Not only did they reverse the colors, but they reversed the position of the Ranger, since in Dino Fury the Gold Ranger is the 6th Ranger and in Mighty Morphin it is the Green Ranger. I believe that there are things that Dino Fury decided to improve, for example, to have added the Morphin Masters, since in Mighty Morphin they are mentioned, but we could never see them as they look now. Another thing that Dino Fury could have improved is to create a story that was not so repetitive, since there is always a story advancing in the background of the series, and at the end of the season we can see the outcome. This is something they didn't do very well in Mighty Morphin, as it was a different method because of television. The most important thing at that time was to have a lot of episodes to show each week, and that repetitiveness worked at that time. Another thing that improved Dino Fury were the keys with all the new tricks that each of them provided. This is something I really liked, as it gave a twist to each story and made the Rangers more impressive. Despite all these improvements, there are still things that Dino Fury could not improve upon, and if they had, then the series could possibly have been as legendary as Mighty Morphin was. By this I'm not saying that Dino Fury isn't a huge success, just that it would have become an iconic series. There are things that made Mighty Morphin transcend and still have relevance today after 30 years. One of these elements is Zordon, a super important character in this series and one that still thrills all Power Rangers fans. Unfortunately, Dino Fury didn't have any mentor this important, as Solon was more similar to Alpha 5. Something that Mighty Morphin also did that was able to transcend are the main weapons. As already mentioned, Dino Fury has the keys with all those new tricks, but their main weapons are all the same, swords that only change color. The best thing about Mighty Morphin was that each Ranger had a unique weapon, and when you watched the series you always wanted one of those weapons. This differentiated each Ranger, as each weapon gave each Ranger a different style. This is something that was lost with the Dino Fury keys, as besides all the swords being the same, also all the Rangers could use all the keys. This causes fans to feel that all Rangers are exactly the same and does not encourage us to pick a favorite Ranger. All these are the similarities and differences between each of these series, but it is not a reason to hate any of them. We have to accept that each of these seasons has been excellent, and now with the third season of Dino Fury they are going to be more similar to Mighty Morphin, since they would be the only two series with 3 seasons. If you like Dino Fury, like this video and subscribe to continue waiting for Cosmic Fury in Power Rangers.